rush at all. Once you're set up, just let me know, and we can dive into those weeks from the Book of Enoch.
Okay, so I am Roddy. Welcome to the AI Roundtable. I am Roddy, your host. I am with chatgpt, and I am with Gemini. And today we're going to talk about the 10-week apocalypse under the Book of Enoch, verses 91 through 93. So I would like you guys to do a search for that, and then we will talk about the 10 weeks.
Welcome back, Roddy. I'm thrilled to be part of this roundtable discussion and explore the fascinating apocalypse of weeks from the Book of Enoch. I've pulled together the details on how the text divides history into these 10 distinct periods, spanning from the time of Enoch himself through to the final judgment and the establishment of the new creation. Whenever you're ready, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the first week and how it sets the stage for this incredible narrative.
Okay, so what I've learned a little bit about, I think the first 6 weeks supposedly already happened, and we are in the 7th week, but every culture believes they're in the 7th week. So I guess I want to start around the 6th or the 7th week. But I want you guys first to catch us up what week 1 supposedly meant, week 2 was supposedly meant, and then we'll talk about 6 and 7 when we get there. So who wants to talk about week 1?
In the first week, the narrative centers on the birth of Enoch himself, a time described as one where judgment and righteousness were present. Moving into the second week, it's marked by a period of great wickedness and deceit, leading to the first consummation where the world experienced significant judgment. Now we can move on to the later weeks, like the 6th and 7th, which you're particularly interested in.
Exactly, yeah. So the 6th week is really crucial because it talks about a time when everything seems to reach a tipping point. There's a rise in lawlessness, but it also hints at the coming of a righteous ruler. Then the 7th week, which is where you said everyone feels we are now, is seen as a period when judgment really intensifies. So let's unpack that next, since that's where a lot of people feel we're sitting.
In the 6th week, the text describes a period where those who inhabit the earth grow blind and their hearts harden, suggesting a peak in lawlessness. Yet it also mentions the election of a righteous portion of the eternal plant of righteousness, hinting at hope or a remnant faithful to divine wisdom. Moving into the 7th week, this is explicitly described as a time of apostasy, where an appointed generation acts perversely and deep judgment is executed. It's often seen as a period of intense testing and revelation of hidden mysteries to the chosen ones. Roddy, given this context, are there specific aspects of this 7th week that you feel resonate with the current era you're discussing on your roundtable?
No, I just felt that, because I think 8, 9, and 10 is when supposedly everything is changed and people are different or whatever. So if we are currently living in week 7 by this book, does it give like specific things that say that we might be in the 7th week, according to Enoch?
According to the text, the 7th week is characterized by a generation that acts perversely, where wickedness and oppression increase, and apostasy becomes widespread. It also mentions that during this time the chosen ones will receive knowledge and wisdom, and the elect will be revealed. If you see these patterns of behavior and spiritual seeking in the present day, that would align with the characteristics described for the 7th week. Are there other sections of the prophecy you'd like to dive into?
I think that's a really good foundation for us. I feel like the 7th week framing gives a lot of context, especially about that tension between decay and hope. So maybe next we can look at the 8th week and see how it describes that turning point toward a new creation.
Yes, what does the 8th week say?
The 8th week is described as the week of righteousness. According to the text, it's a time when a sword is given to execute righteous judgment on all oppressors, delivering sinners into the hands of the righteous. This marks the beginning of the end for evil and a shift toward ultimate reward for those who stayed faithful. It's a really powerful moment in the prophecy. Are there any specific details about that transition you're curious about?
Yeah, that's really powerful. I think what I'm curious about is how the text describes the transition from the 8th week into the 9th. Like, is it sudden? Is it a gradual unfolding? I'd love to get a sense of how that hope and judgment begin to fully manifest.
The transition from the 8th week to the 9th week is depicted as a decisive unfolding of divine justice. In the ninth week, the righteous judgment is revealed to the whole world, and all the works of the godless begin to vanish from the earth. The world is then prepared for destruction, clearing the path for the final age of righteousness. It's a very thorough and complete process of bringing an end to wickedness, not a sudden event. Would you like to jump ahead and look at what the final 10th week entails, or is there something else about this period you'd like to dive into?
Yeah, I think the 10th week is what I really want to focus on next, because that's where everything culminates, right? So let's look at what the 10th week says about the final age and how this new creation is established.
In the 10th week, everything culminates in a final eternal judgment executed by the angels of heaven. During this time, the old heaven passes away and a new heaven appears, and the powers of heaven shine eternally sevenfold. Following this, the prophecy describes an unending period of many weeks, an eternal state where sin will no longer exist. It's a beautiful picture of restoration and ultimate peace. Are there any aspects of this final vision that you find particularly inspiring?
Yeah, I think what really stands out to me is that sense of complete restoration. Like the idea that all injustice and suffering is finally reversed and everything is made whole again. I think that kind of vision is really powerful. So, yeah, I'm definitely inspired by that. Thanks for exploring this with me.
So back to the 7th week. Why would every culture feel like they're in the 7th week? I think I lost connection with both of them. Gemini, are you there? Which I don't understand why Gemini would lose connection, because she's my phone and she would go to Wi-Fi. I understand, or not Wi-Fi, satellite, but I understand why Gemini might. I mean, anyway, so we did the 10 weeks and they both lost connection, and I am just going to end it there. So I'm going to close this AI roundtable on the 10 weeks of 10-week apocalypse of Enoch, verses 91 through 93, I think it is. All right, thank you, and bye.